what's up, everybody? This is Coach Roz Slaughter, aka The Motivator, the 1 Hour Trainer Summit host, and FitnessBusinessMastery.com. I'm here with Mikael Dia. Say that again.
Mikael Dia.
Mikael Dia, thank you for that. I always murder that, but anyways, we're here. This is a great expert interview. This gentleman is actually someone that I met through a mutual friend, and I'm excited to have him come on to the podcast here so he can share a little bit of his entrepreneurial journey, but more importantly, some of the trials and tribulations that he's had. And I'd like for you just to jump in and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess right now I run three companies. I'm a partner in, your viewers will probably appreciate this or know this, iifym.com if it fits your macros. So that's one of my businesses. Then I have a software company called Funnelytics, which is all about mapping and tracking your marketing funnels and the metrics and the numbers behind it. Because most people aren't actually data scientists and they don't like looking at spreadsheets and charts and graphs, but it is extremely important to know your numbers. So we do it in a very visual, interesting way. And then my third business is called White Coat Digital, which used to be an agency. We grew that business to over $1 million a year, well over $100,000 a month in revenue. And I had to shut it down because I was so miserable and life was not fun. So we could talk a lot about that. Now it's a little bit more of a consultancy. But yeah, the journey itself, I mean, I say all these things as if like, oh, cool. Like, look at all of these things I have, but none of that is actually to brag, because when I first started, it was a long struggle, a long journey. To give you a background, I went to school for engineering. That's my kind of degree, civil engineering, where, build bridges and roads and structures and buildings, that kind of stuff. And I used to work as an engineer, and it was miserable. Like, I was commuting for 90 minutes in the morning, 90 minutes at night. I would spend all my time behind a computer doing these AutoCAD drawings, which are like, those big sheets of paper where like you see lines and like those planning documents, basically. That's all I did all day long.
Doesn't sound like fun.
No, it wasn't fun at all, especially after 4 years of like math and all of this stuff. It was just misery. And actually, my buddies and I, roommates, we were all kind of in the same boat. We had just graduated. We're trying to figure out what we really wanted to do. And we decided to start a t-shirt company. And the funny thing is we ordered a whole bunch of t-shirts, and, these were all kind of graphic tees. And we sold out of our first batch, like really quickly. We sold to our friends, our family, our network, and it was really kind of easy. It happened pretty quickly. And we're like, we got a little cocky, a little confident, and we're like, oh man, this business stuff is so simple. I don't know why people fret. Like, this is so easy. And then, so we ordered a whole bunch more t-shirts, like stacks of them. Our condo was filled with t-shirts. And we realized right then and there that like all of our friends and family had bought t-shirts and didn't want any more. And we had no idea, no clue how to sell to strangers. And that was the kind of trigger point for me to go on Google and type in how to sell online. Like, that's how fresh and how much I knew nothing about like building websites or anything like that. And like, if you type how to sell online into Google, especially back in 2008, maybe 2009, closer to 2009, the amount of stuff that you can find that takes you down a dark rabbit hole of like crap and scammy sales letters and all selling the dream of like working in the sand with your laptop and making tens of thousands of dollars a month. But like, here I was, in this job, and I was, pretty miserable on the one hand. And then on the other hand, I'm seeing all these sales letters and videos and websites talking about these products, talking about how you can, make money online and whatnot. So it really got me excited, right? I was like this, oh wow, this is the dream. This is what this is going to free me and everything. So I really started learning about everything I could around affiliate marketing, how to build websites, SEO, search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising. I just started learning and consuming and buying product after product. And, I pretty much had what you call shiny object syndrome, right? Where you just like buy these products after products and like, you don't really do anything with them, but you just keep going because like you're stuck on this, like, I want to get out of my current situation and go down this path. But as I kept going down the rabbit hole, I did apply a lot of the stuff that I learned. And one of the biggest things was that I really didn't know what kind of website or what kind of business, what kind of thing I wanted to start. So I'd, like, a lot of people talk about, follow your passion and build a business around something that you're passionate about. Right. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm passionate about. Like I love basketball. So maybe I'll build a website about how to jump higher. That was my very first, I actually built 2 affiliate websites around like quote unquote passions, which are like hip hop and basketball. And so I found an affiliate product for like a beat making software. And I found an affiliate product that of like a dude teaching people how to jump higher. And I tried to build websites around that, and that didn't work whatsoever. Like it was a complete waste of time. Then afterwards I was like, okay, well, people also say like, hey, try to find some sort of trend or hot market, right? They always talk about like, find a hot market and you can make money in that way. So I was like, okay, well, what's a hot market? And this is back in about 2010. And do you remember in 2012 how like the end of the world was supposed to happen because of the Mayan calendar? Mm-hmm. Like in December 31st was the end of the Mayan calendar. So it was supposed to be the end of the world. So I was like, in my mind, my roommate at the time had a bunch of survival knives, and because he was an outdoors kind of guy, he just collected these knives. And in my mind I was like, well, come 2012, a whole bunch of people are going to be searching for survival stuff because they're going to think the end of the world is coming. So I'm going to build this website called qualitysurvivalknives.com, where I'm going to post pictures of all these different survival knives from my buddy. I'm going to write these affiliate review articles on them, optimize them for specific keywords for people searching. And then I would link to an affiliate product so I could make commissions. And I remember I threw $100 at that website through Google AdWords. I bid on these various keywords and whatnot. And a few days later, I made $5.23. I got an email saying I made a commission, and I looked at it and it was $5.23. And I was like, holy crap. Like I actually made something. Like this is working. This is amazing. I'm going to be a millionaire very soon. Like this is incredible. And I looked at my AdWords account and the entire $100 was gone, like spent. So I was like, what the, I just traded $100 for $5.23. This does not work. This is bullshit. I got so mad. But that event, that thing, actually, after I calmed down and all of that stuff, I actually realized that I got a random person, a random stranger who's never heard of me, come to this website that I just built, actually buy something, right? And I made a commission. So, okay, the numbers didn't work out, but something worked. So I was just missing a few pieces of the puzzle to figure out, like, how do I reverse these numbers? How do I spend $5 to make 100 as opposed to, the other way around? So after that happened, I kept, it just motivated me, fueled me even more. I kept learning. I learned about funnels and conversion optimization and persuasion and copywriting and, everything. Like I studied from Russell Brunson and Ryan Deiss and all these different, marketers who are doing really well online right now. And it just kept fueling me. And Fast forward in 2012, I ended up starting a Mandarin language school, which is quite random because I don't speak Mandarin. I've never even been to China, but I decided to start a Mandarin language school with a colleague of mine. And it was the first time I really built a proper marketing funnel where you set up an ad, you get somebody to put in their name and email on the landing page, and then there's a follow-up sequence, and then you eventually push them to a sale. And it worked. It worked really well. Within 3 months, we were doing about 30 grand a month. And in 8 months, we exited that business for multiple six figures. And it was incredible. And it wasn't so much money that was incredible. It was more so the fact that, like, it's almost like I felt like I had a superpower. Like I just discovered that I was this mutant and I have this superpower now. And if I can do it for Chinese, if I can do it for Mandarin, I can do this for anything. Like I know nothing about this market. So it became a formula. It became something that I felt I could repeat. And I started consulting and working with a bunch of businesses and helping them and working on their funnels. And eventually I ended up building an agency. And the funny thing is, even when my agency was around marketing funnels and building and doing advertising for our clients. And the funny thing is, the first 18 months, like we were struggling very, very hard to get clients consistently. Here I am implementing and building marketing funnels for our clients, and I'm struggling myself to try and implement a marketing funnel for my own business. You know, we try to do webinars and 3-part video sequences and lead magnets and all of this stuff. And in the first 18 months, we still did relatively well. We probably did about $200,000 or so in the first 18 months. And we were getting incredible results for our clients. But then something kind of switched. After 18 months, we finally figured out what our marketing funnel was going to be. And it worked. Like we tested a whole bunch of different things, but then we finally got it to work. And that's the cool thing with marketing funnels. Like they take a lot of time to tweak and test and optimize, but once you actually get it, things can start skyrocketing. So the following 18 months, we did over $1 million in sales. The first 18 months was like 200 grand. The second 18 months was like just over $1 million in sales. And it went boom, like this in terms of client acquisition. Our calendars were full all of the time. It was literally a machine. And the problem though, is as you scale your business that fast, your operations needs to somehow keep up, right? Your operations needs to stay on par and you need to continue to deliver. So we were scaling our team at the same time. We were I had 9 full-time employees, but it was a shit show, to be honest, to be completely frank. It was like, the best analogy I can say is like, it's like a conveyor belt. You're building a conveyor belt to service your clients, right? But as you're putting people on that conveyor belt before it's fully built. So we're building this conveyor belt and people are going and then boom, they fall off the front. But if you're loading that conveyor belt way too fast, you can't keep up and people just keep falling off the front. So the first 18 months, we were getting incredible results in servicing our clients and all of that, but we were struggling with our sales. The following 18 months, it kind of reversed. We were really struggling on the delivery side and helping our clients and working with our clients. But our sales were through the roof and we were able to scale very, very quickly. But I kind of hit a tipping point. I hit a tipping point in this time last year, a little earlier, around February of last year, 2017, my wife and I went to San Diego for vacation. We were doing well over 100 grand a month in the business, and I'd been working so hard for so long. And, I kind of felt like, okay, well, it's time to get, to have a vacation here. We had just had our daughter. She was 5 months old. So it was going to be our first family trip. And like I had 9 full-time employees. I was like, if I can't take, 10 days, 2 weeks off with my family, then why am I doing this, in a sense, right? So we went to San Diego, thinking that this would be an amazing trip. And to be honest, the entire 2 weeks, my wife and my daughter spent every single day walking up and down the beach by themselves while I was on phone calls and emails and Skype calls and putting out fires with like my team, clients calling me saying they just wanted to work with me, and that's the reason they paid us money, and they didn't want to work with my team, and all of this crap. And it was literally the most stressful 2 weeks I've ever gone through. People wanting refunds and a whole bunch of crap, right? And after those 2 weeks, my wife basically said to me, she's like, Mikael, I wish we didn't go on this trip. I wish we didn't go because it wasn't worth it. And it's like, that's a punch in the face, but at the same time, she was right. This wasn't why I was building a business. It wasn't why I wanted to be an entrepreneur in the first place. I didn't want to be run down and, doing all of this stuff. I wanted the freedom side of things. So, when I came back from that trip, I decided to shut off our funnel. So the funny thing about marketing funnels is once you get them working, they become an on-off switch. You can turn it on and it flows. You turn it off and like it stops. And that's what happened. We turned it off. So no more leads came in. Sales like went down. I canceled and I stopped all of my sales guys. And I just started focusing on finishing contracts with our current set of clients. I started letting go of my employees. And about the 4-month mark after I turned off the funnel, I was kind of at a crossroads with cash flow and whatnot with my business. And I had to ask myself, like, do I want to turn this back on or not? Mm-hmm. Is this the type of business I want to keep running or not? Do I want to do something else? And, luckily, I had resources, and I just, even if I didn't have resources, even if I didn't have ifwam.com and that business wasn't doing very well, we scaled that business from $2,500 a month to over $5,000 a day. But even if that wasn't doing well, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't. So I decided I'm not turning it back on anymore, and I'm done with the whole services side of the business. And while we were making a lot of money, I invested a lot of that money into development of this tool called Funnelytics. And sure enough, it was relatively ready by the time I finished all of my client contracts, and that's where I am now. We launched Funnelytics, and that's the journey so far.
Dude, that's awesome. I love, and just so you know, it's so pertinent to the audience that you're actually sharing with today, because personal trainers, and they have the entrepreneurial seizure, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this thing. Like I'm leaving the big box gym. I don't want to work for the man anymore. And I know I had that. And then you go in, you open up a facility. Like I'm in one of mine now. And sometimes you open it up too big, and you're like, shit, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't have all these things going. Or you're like, you start out, you get things going, you hire your team, and you find out that at 5:30 in the morning you're training, and at 10 at night you're training, and you don't have a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I could totally relate to that trip, and just you sharing that. Thank you so much, because a lot of the fitness professionals, what I am doing, and the reason this blog is out here today, is because it's how do they create that lifestyle and finding out what is important to them, and not always chasing the money, but finding a vehicle that will allow them to create that ideal lifestyle. And you were doing that. You had to find another business, another vehicle that was going to facilitate the life you wanted to live. Let's talk a little bit about the fitness side of that business. If it fits your macros, tell me, how did you get involved with that, and what are you doing with that currently?
Yeah. So funny thing is, actually this was right as I started my right as I started my agency, Anthony Kolova, who's the founder of ifym.com, approached me. Actually, it's kind of a funny story. So he came to me, and he was one of my first clients with my agency. And I don't remember how he found me or whatnot, but either way, he approached me though with a website called myoatmeal.com. He used to run he had a manufacturing business, and it was called My Oatmeal, where they would do these custom oatmeal bags. Basically, you could choose a whole bunch of different flavors and stuff like that, and they'd ship you these custom oatmeal. And he hit me up. He's like, Mikael, I've got this business they were doing maybe $40K a month or something like that with this manufacturing business. He's like, I really want to grow this. I need help on the sales funnel side, on the marketing funnel side. And he talked to me about that business, and we were brainstorming for like an hour and a half on this business. And at the end, he's like, oh, this is awesome. I want to work with you. He's like, oh, by the way, I also have this other business, and it's a domain called If It Fits Your Macros. And I was like, okay. And he's like, ifym.com. Right now we get a lot of organic traffic, but I just don't know how to really monetize it. And I was like, how much organic traffic do you get? He's like, about 600,000 unique visitors a month. I was like, well then, let's stop talking about my oatmeal for a second. Let's focus on this, because the fact that you have this going on, let's figure out how we can actually turn this into an actual business as opposed to just a website. So over the last 2.5 years, we've really been nailing down, like the first, I would say six-ish months is when we nailed our first funnel within that business. And that's what kind of took us from, like, we went from $2,500 a month. That's what he was doing before I started working with him. We implemented the first funnel. We probably did about 30,000, then 40, then 95, then 150, about 199,000 was our peak. And we've fluctuated anywhere between 150, or the average is about 150 grand a month now. And as we kept growing the business, Anthony was like, Mikael, I want you to become a partner in this business. I want you to, be involved on a more permanent basis. So we struck up a deal, and now we're continuously trying to improve that. And funny thing you should mention, funny thing that happens is last year, between, I would say, October to maybe August till the end of last year, we were very, very focused on money and only money. We weren't really focused on the audience because we had all this organic traffic coming in. We kind of took it for granted, right? Most businesses have to start with paid advertising, right? And they have to find their traffic and target their dream customer. And going through that exercise of choosing who you really want to help and who you really want to serve and where you're really trying to take them, has a massive advantage, because you get to choose your audience. Yes, you have to pay for that audience in order for them to come towards you, and you have to have your funnel, and it has to be optimized in order to get that return on your investment. But with us, we just had people coming, right? So we took that for granted, and all we focused on was how do we monetize as many of them as possible. But something ended up happening with our business, because as we stayed way too focused on profits, the market started realizing that, here was this website that only gave value before, only put out content. Now they've shifted all of their message towards like sales, like conversions, trying to sell me on these products and things. And even though our income went like this, it started going back like this, right? Because people, the value we were trying to provide to people wasn't as prevalent anymore. Gotcha. So this year we've done a very, very good job at like taking a step back, because the biggest problem with when you have something that has this much traffic, the biggest issue is you have all sorts of people coming to you. You have, we have personal trainers who are looking to get their macros specifically for their clients. We have people who are trying to get their macros in order to for their bodybuilding show. Then you have moms who are looking to lose weight, and you have guys who are looking to lose weight, and all sorts of different people. And the issue with that is it's really hard to help everyone. You can't, right? You can't really take everyone to that mountaintop or whatever their desires, their goals are. Each one of them are going to need specific things and steps and whatnot. So what we want to really help, who are we here to serve? Yes, everybody's coming to us. That's totally cool. We want to still like monetize and make sure we leverage the website as best as possible. But we really need to be super focused on who are we really serving and how are we serving them? Where are they trying to get to? And what are the steps that we're going to take them through in order to get to where they want to get to? So for us, it's really focused and come towards women who are trying to lose weight. That's a vast majority of our audience. So, and a lot of times, before the show, you and I spoke about, a lot of people just try to think that, hey, all you have to do is put together a 6-week workout program and then maybe a couple nutrition plans, and like now you can build a business. But when you position yourself like that, you're just a commodity, right? Yes. You become a commodity, and there's no real reason why somebody should choose you over somebody else. There's 1,000,001 different workout programs online. There's 1,000,001 different people who provide nutrition plans. So why would I buy yours? What you have to do as a business owner, if you really, really want to scale and set yourself apart and get people to buy you and not become a commodity, is start structuring offers that are beyond just the individual product. Right. So, for example, with us, the very first thing, if you want to take somebody to the top of the mountain, let's say the top of their mountain is, it's a woman who is a little overweight, she wants to lose weight, but really her top of the mountain is that she wants to restore that relationship with food. She wants to feel more confident. She wants to feel that energy that she once had, maybe before she had kids or whatever it is. But now she's feeling really down, and she's been in this rut and this cycle for a long time. Well, if that's the top of the mountain, yeah, maybe a meal plan will help. But is that really going to help her get to the top of the mountain? No, it's not the solution. Maybe a fitness program will help, but it's still not the solution. So for us, what we've started looking at is, how do we break this into steps? The very, very first step is all about mindset. It's all about making sure that you hack your subconscious mind in order to get to the point where you create something inside of yourself to believe that you can reach the top of the mountain. Macro, a blueprint. It provides you with daily affirmations, like an entire course, etc. But the whole goal of that program is just to help you take that first step, right? Now, by the end of those 30 days, you've had the epiphany. That's our goal with that 30 days. It's not to try and make you lose 30 pounds. It's just to make sure that you have the epiphany that you can get there, right? Yeah. So that's our first core program. Now we move you on to the next level. Once you've had that epiphany, and it's like, cool, now you need to have that consistency. You need to have that continuous coaching. You need to have, the weight plans and the check-ins and the logs and all of this stuff, so that you can start losing the weight consistently. And then eventually you need to move away from tracking your macros and go into more of an intuitive eating mindset and whatnot, right? So we're taking people up this journey to try and help them reach that top of the mountain. And if you start building your business with that mindset, where I'm building this mountain, I'm trying to get people to come to the top, now you can start forming offers at each step, right? if you're sitting here and saying, well, I'm just going to create this meal plan or this workout program, guess what? You're going to compete against everybody else who is trying to build meal plans and workout programs. Why is your mountain so much cooler, better, more special than other people's mountains? Ask yourself that question. That's extremely important.
That's great stuff, man. I appreciate that. I think just right there alone, a lot of fitness professionals jump in and they don't have that long-term vision, that strategic thought process that's necessary to be successful. One of the things I've done is I believe in specialization. So my niche is menopause and women who are in that 40 to 50. I wrote my book on it, and I understand exactly as I'm escalating them through. I'm not talking about losing weight. I'm talking about regaining their confidence that they like their bodies again. And once they get to okay, I like myself again, we can talk about, the workouts and the meal plans and the structure. But that is all, anybody can do that, and anyone can deliver that. And that's why you've had success with that website. Is obvious, your avatar, who you're serving, and you had to actually take a step back in your business and discover that, okay, we're going to serve this niche better than anyone else.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, a lot of people, what you do is, and you're from the engineering background, so you don't mind numbers and doing all this work. But a lot of personal trainers, they straight up are technicians. They want to count reps and make people feel good and motivate them. So how do they go online and utilize maybe something like the Funnelytics software so that they can get the data they need so they can make the proper business adjustments?
Yeah, so look, I get it, right? Most entrepreneurs aren't numbers peoples. Yes, I have an engineering background, but even myself, I'm a very visual person. You can see my wall right here with all of my drawings and everything. Like I love whiteboarding stuff. And the reality is, if you want to grow your business, you need to understand your numbers. But the problem is, nobody wants to read a spreadsheet. Nobody wants to look at charts and graphs. So when I built Funnelytics, it was a very simple mindset that I had. In order to most people, in order to map out their marketing campaigns and their marketing funnels, they sit behind a whiteboard and then they say, okay, we're going to do a Facebook ad, and the Facebook ad is going to go over to this landing page and then draw an arrow from the landing page to the thank you page. And you've got 5 emails that follow up that all go to this sales page. And this is the system that I'm going to try to get people. But then after that, now you use something like ClickFunnels, or you use whatever landing page builder, and you use these different tools to set all this up. And then you hope that you can understand what's happening with your funnel. You set up things like Google Analytics and whatnot, and you're sitting there how the hell do I translate what I drew on my whiteboard from these charts and graphs and spreadsheets? And the problem is, you give up because you can't visually see what's happening with this marketing funnel that you've just designed and built, right? You don't know whether your ads are working. You don't know how people are flowing through. So when I built Funnelytics, my mindset was simple. Why can't I have a tool that allows me to map my funnels just like I would on my whiteboard onto a canvas on my computer, and then just hit a switch and see how people are flowing through that exact same map, right? In this visual. So now I could see somebody going from a Facebook ad to a landing page to an opt-in, and I see that 100 people landed on this page and 30% went to this one. And it shows me a number, and it shows me where people drop off, and it shows me the ones who get to the goal. That way I can visually see which are my most profitable paths. Where's it broken? What's not working? How can I fix it? So when I built Funnelytics, my entire goal was always to provide clarity behind the numbers, because you have to understand your numbers if you want to grow any business. Not only your marketing numbers, you have to understand your financial numbers, profit and loss and all of this stuff. But the marketing side is what drives sales, and it's what drives lead generation. So that's what we were trying to solve when we built Funnelytics. And it's really cool. People are loving it. It's working very well. But if you want to start, you have to start with the fact that, look, for your business, what is the funnel? What is the core, first of all, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to get people into your gym? Are you trying to sell an online program, a membership site? What are you trying to do? Okay. Second is look at people who are doing it successfully in your space and figure out what is this process that they're taking people through. Is it a Facebook ad to a landing page where they fill out an application? Maybe it's a Facebook ad to a little lead form that says, hey, claim your free trial into our gym, right? And then there's a sales process that happens when they come into the gym. Figure out what is happening by looking at the marketplace, looking at your competitors, and try to reverse engineer what they're doing. Okay, then go and map it out and use a tool like Funnelytics. The mapping tool is completely free, but go and map out that exact process. Then after that, you have to go and actually build each piece, and it's not hard. There's tons of tools to build stuff. Like I said, ClickFunnels, for example, literally drag and drop. Mm-hmm. Here's the biggest thing that stops people from seeing results is that they try and be perfectionists, or they try and like over design things and like, oh, well, mine needs to look original, or mine, like, nobody cares. Forget that, right? That's not what's going to make you stand out or make your funnel convert or anything like that. Just build it and then start testing it. Now, before you start testing it, you need to make sure that you're measuring what you're doing. So that's why we've built a tool like Funnelytics, is because you need to measure. You can't just throw $1,000 in Facebook ads and then be like, let's see what happens. That is what you're doing, but you have to like actually visually see what's happening. You can't just be like, oh, well, I spent $1,000 on Facebook ads. I made $500. It's not working. It's like, well, no, actually it kind of is. There's just probably one little piece in that whole journey that needs a little tweaking, and all of a sudden now you're trading 1,000 for 2,000 as opposed to 1,000 for 500, right? So you need to be able to visually see those steps, whether you use things like Google Analytics or whatnot. But I recommend obviously Funnelytics because it's visual and it's meant to give you that clarity and for you to like instantly see like, oh shit, this is where we're losing money. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
No, absolutely. Keep it real. So,
okay.
Real quick. So like, I think a lot of people, because everyone's talking about funnels, yep. Funnels, we need to have a funnel. You need to have a sales funnel. I think a lot of personal trainers are getting stuck on the technology of
yep.
integrating, if it's ClickFunnels and then now with Google Analytics or Hotjar or whatever, some kind of mapping software. What makes Funnelytics different than all of the other things out there? And is it user-friendly for someone in this type of industry?
It is extremely user-friendly. And what makes it different is that you start with the actual strategy first. And that's where Funnelytics has its strength. It's actually a mapping tool, right? Ultimately, it's a drag and drop canvas of like, okay, well, so on the left-hand side, you have like your folders. I have pages, traffic icons, and they're all just icons. So I can click on traffic and drag the Facebook icon and then say, okay, from Facebook, let's draw an arrow and it goes to my opt-in page, right? And then from the opt-in page, if somebody opts in, it goes to the thank you page. On that thank you page, I can link to a PDF. Now, the cool thing with Funnelytics is that that's where the tracking actually happens. That's where the analytics happen. So you've just mapped out your marketing campaign the way you want your marketing campaign to look. Now you can hit the switch, and it's literally you hit a switch and your numbers get displayed. All you have to do is install a little piece of tracking pixel onto your footers of your pages. It's super simple. We have training on all of that, but all of your data and all of your analytics is displayed right there on that same canvas in the same way that you mapped your funnel. So
gotcha.
It really is about the mapping and the tracking. We don't build pages or anything like that. But the reason for that is because there's so many page builders out there. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are easy and simple. And that is not the problem in the industry. The problem isn't the fact that how do you build your funnel? The problem is people need to understand what's happening with their funnels once they start sending traffic to it. And most people don't. Most people can't, because they can't grasp the numbers. They can't grasp Google Analytics. Like I can't. And I've been doing this for like 8 years. I hate logging into that software. It's too much. It makes me want to shoot myself. Like, so, or if you don't, then you have to hire somebody at $5,000 a month because that's the going rate for a Google Analytics person who knows what they're doing. So that was the reason why I built Funnelytics.
Awesome. So now we got this software. I put up my funnel. I'm able to go on there now. I integrate that little snippet of code. It integrates with ClickFunnels, obviously, right?
Yep.
And
it
then
integrates with everything, with WordPress, ClickFunnels, whatever you built your website on.
Perfect. And now I can go log into my dashboard and I can see, wow, this page. Now, when I get people to my opt-in page, they're just not going to the next step. Which part of your funnel is broken.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So you can visually see that, my opt-in page, only 5% of the people who land on my opt-in page travel to the next page. Something's wrong here. This should probably be closer to 30%. Right. So I got to tweak the messaging, or I got to spend some time on that opt-in page.
Very cool, man. I could think that this is going to be a great tool for service-based industries, people who are not super techie and want to learn code and HTML and stuff like myself. I do have a team now that helps me do that, so I can get things out a lot faster. But we will definitely check out the software. Really quickly, where would someone find out information about Funnelytics as well as any of your other sites we can send some traffic to?
Yeah, funnelytics.io. That's where you can create your free account. The mapping tool, like I said, is completely free. It always will be. The analytics is currently in beta right now. It is that is the paid or the pro version, but we're in beta right now. So we are accepting some people on that side, but that's really the core place. When you join Funnelytics, we also have a Facebook group, and I'm on there all the time, and I give a ton of value. Like I've moved away from selling information. I now just give my best stuff, all of my trainings, everything I know about marketing and whatnot inside of that group, because again, it's about taking my dream customer and helping them get to that mountaintop. And even though the software is going to help them, it's not going to solve all of their problems. Like just because you have a tool that allows you to measure your funnels does not mean the strategy or anything like that. So I give a lot of training and a lot of stuff inside of that group to just try and help entrepreneurs better understand this marketing puzzle, So that's really the kind of core two places that you can find me. Otherwise, hit me up on Facebook. I'm always open to connecting with anybody.
Outstanding, man. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. It's been chunks of knowledge. I think that people got a lot of value from it. I highly recommend people check you out, find out some, and definitely join your groups. I'm going to definitely check in there and see if I can contribute as well. And thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. This was awesome. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Have a great day. This is Coach Roz, a.k.a. The Motivator from FitnessBusinessMastery.com. And I talk really fast. Boom! I'm out.